Mark and I have worked together for many, many years, going back to my time in the junior formula, when I was a young, aspiring racing driver. And I'm sure you can all cast your minds back to when you were young, aspiring salespeople. You still are young, aren't you? So I haven't had a good opportunity to look too closely. But you're certainly the most enthusiastic welcome I've ever had. So thank you very much for that.
Well, I have to say, David, this really upsets me. Do you see the reaction that you get? You know, I come on stage and I mean, as soon as I came on stage, half of them started texting and, you know, catching up on emails, and then you walk on stage and you get that. That's great. David.
The benefit of Bernie Ecclestone being my godfather.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the way we're going to handle this session is David and I are we're really going to talk to you about the sport, and specifically I'm going to ask David questions and get him to talk to you about the things that matter for someone like him as a multiple race winning Formula One driver, someone who has raced against Michael Schumacher, against Mika Hakkinen, who's a teammate with Mika Hakkinen at McLaren. And actually, David represents quite a unique driver, and I always embarrass him by saying this. You know, he drove in Formula One for 15 years, and he only ever drove for World Championship winning teams. So the Williams Formula One team of the 1990s, indeed David Coulthard replaced Ayrton Senna after that tragic accident at Imola in 1994, which is our last driver fatality. So that's what led to David getting promoted into the race drive at Williams. He then drove at the McLaren Formula One team, winning 2 Teams World Championships alongside Mika Hakkinen, and then he finished his career racing for Red Bull Racing. And I think really that leads into my first question, David, which is, how come a company that produces a disgusting energy drink can dominate Formula One? I mean, how is that possible, that Red Bull is the #1 team?
Okay, well, I'd just like to distance myself from the disgusting energy drink part as I continue to represent the brand. It's a really fantastic product, and if you've not tried it, I recommend. Any of you feeling a little bit tired after the presentation, that will definitely sort you out. It's very simple, and we're speaking to people, you know, you all get it, you understand, you're part of a leading, successful business. You have great products that are delivered to you to go out and take them to the marketplace and get the right people supplied with those products.
So Red Bull Racing, as David says, that dominance that they have achieved in our industry, they've won the last 4 World Championships for teams. They've won the last 4 World Championships for drivers with Sebastian Vettel. And as David said, it has come down to Red Bull investing in people and getting the right group of people working together in the right way and extracting the most from the technology that is available to them. But David, you know, you are, as a driver, and you touched on a really important point there, that even though you are the driver, you saw it as part of your responsibility to work with the team to motivate your colleagues. You really saw yourself as a team player. You're not simply on your own driving the car. You're part of a team, and you really took a position of leadership within your team to help to motivate everyone.
Well, unquestionably, you know, as I'm sure you know, that you can only have a great product to sell if someone's designed a great product. I can only win a Grand Prix and compete in a Grand Prix to try and win if I have a great car. That great car is not designed by some software package that you can buy in, you know, from your local electronics store. It has to be developed by humans. They have to have an intuitive feel for what the future might be and create these new technologies. But they also have to understand the end user, the driver. And it was very much with the attitude of, have I done everything? Have I ticked every box in terms of my preparation? You know, do I think someone else is taking their natural talent and working harder? So I was very driven in that respect, and by the luck of the racing gods, I was able to find my way to Formula One.
I think that's a very humble summary. I mean, you went through go-kart racing, or karting, as we call it, up into the lower formula, and at each level you achieved the success sufficient to get the attention of the people at the next step up. And so you really had a very steady progress towards Formula One. Were there moments, was there a time when you thought, this is not going to happen, I'm not going to achieve my ambition? Were there moments of doubt, and how did you cope with that?
Well, I think it's a very good point. And again, I feel that a lot of this will be something that you already have done in your own journey of life. But if you don't know where you want to get to, then you're already giving yourself a big chance of turning up in the wrong address. I knew I wanted to get to Formula One because it was the pinnacle of motorsport in terms of speed.